Good afternoon, Wrestling Inc. Get up, get going. Welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily. Bam, 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 bam. All right, it's me, Nick
Sprinkler.
This EJ. Yes, for those of you listening in audio form, you are missing out as EJ is hitting that sprinkler on the dance floor like it's a 1997 wedding party.
I'm bringing this back. Raising the Roof is coming back, guys. I'm bringing it.
You may as well be the guest star on Friends right now. You know, you
get that money. Why not? They need a black guy on the show, right?
That's why I said guest star. I didn't say part of the.
Oh no, yeah, no. They would. I'm not one of the friends.
You're like Lisa Kudrow's boyfriend for like a 3-episode story arc, and then you like get a physical piano actually drops on you. You know,
I'd get a little. What do they call him? I just lost it. But they would have Muffin Man written on it. I'm just a guy who gets a muffin.
Sure,
and that's it.
That's you. You're the
muffin guy. My trailer, the little trailer that says Muffin Guy EJ.
There it is. You do a Friends Seinfeld crossover, right? Just the top or whatever, right? Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Too many 90s sitcoms references. We got a great show today. I did promise yesterday that I was going to air for you all or some of what I thought was going to be a press scrum with MLW World Heavyweight Champion Hammerstone. I misinterpreted the email. I got to do a one-on-one with Hammerstone for like 15 minutes this afternoon. It was a little late in the day. We didn't have enough time to turn it around how I'd like. So tomorrow on the show, you're going to get Hammerstone. We'll have highlights on the site. We'll have the video up over on the YouTube channel. So come back tomorrow for some Hammerstone. I'll remind you at the end. At the end of the show here today for everybody, after we talk the news, we'll dive in the mailbag. We're going to talk about Brian Kendrick, Spanky, possibly leaving WWE. Hate to hear it. But before we get to the news, man, we got so many people here in the comment section. John, Antonio, Aki, Dino, Andrew, Pollo Del Mar, fresh off the world on GCW and winning the approval of Bill Alfonso in the chat room today. Thanks for joining us today, Pollo. Be back on Thursday. Check out Paul Pratt. Ricky, Supersonic, Headlocked Heel, J Flame, Leo Gloria. Everybody's in the house. I'm sorry if there's anybody I glossed over as I was quickly clicking around. We love to see it. But let's get to it, man. News you can use. News will leave a bruise. The first, the A block here is going to be very similar to yesterday's A block. Updates here on Ronda Rousey and WWE. So this broke just before we went on the air yesterday for the Daily. We talked about it a little bit, but we didn't really know many of the details. So now we know, according to PWInsider.com, that at least one WWE official flew to California after last week's TV tapings to meet with Ronda Rousey. No word yet on what came of that meeting, but furthermore, WWE sources have confirmed that Rousey's makeup artist and stylist that she used when she was last working for WWE is scheduled to be at the Rumble on Saturday and then at Monday's Raw. Now, this booking has been locked in for several weeks now. The Observer saying Rousey is set to be at WrestleMania. She will also be at the Rumble. It is not 100% whether or not she's going to be in the Rumble, but she is scheduled for Mania. I'm guessing some kind of match. The impression is that Ronda Rousey could end up facing Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. That match under heavy consideration. It was also revealed that the ex-UFC fighter has been training hard ahead of her return. However, it is unknown whether this return will be a one-off. The expectation is that she is not coming back for a full-time run again. So, EJ, any thoughts on all this Ronda Rousey news?
I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and go for the shotgun here. Ronda's gonna win the Rumble.
That seems like the tantalizing tease in all this, doesn't it?
Ooh, the tantalizing tease on a Tuesday while we're getting tickled. Yes.
I know, lots of tickling, a lot of tantalizing. I mean, yeah, she's easily the highest profile person about if she's in it.
Easily. You have that on, she wins on Raw. Who's she going to pick? The two people she fought at WrestleMania, Charlotte or Becky. And it could truly go either way. Yeah. Because we've been saying that. We're like, who do you think's going to win? And I was like, I guess Rhea Ripley, but she's doing the thing with Nikki. So who else?
I mean, I think Bianca Belair would have her supporters.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see that. Maybe a Sasha. Maybe she's back and better.
Hey, a return Bayley would, I think, definitely be somebody that would be great. I think a returning Asuka could be great. You know, a lot of this, for me, is going to be interesting on like what kind of a reception does Ronda Rousey get, And is it a given she comes back as a babyface? Because she's been talking so much trash in her time away about WWE, how it's fake, she didn't like it, the fans rejected her, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it's a given that she comes back as a babyface this time, and I just wonder how that affects what they want to do with her.
I think it might be a coin flip. It might be, all right, let's see how they react. And however they react, you're going to go, it's like a choose your own adventure. If everyone goes crazy, they're like, Ronda, Ronda, Ronda. Cool. She's a good guy. She's going this way against whomever. If they boo her, keep going that way, crank it up that way, and just make her a heel. Put her with Shayna.
I wonder if she wins the Rumble. Like, I don't think people go nuts. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe I'm off the mark, and it's going to be a lot more casual fans there that are just excited to see Ronda Rousey back. But part of me thinks if she goes the distance as the last person left standing in that ring, knowing that you've just seen a Bianca Belair get eliminated, or a Bayley, or a returning Asuka, I don't know that it's a given she gets a big pop. Maybe that's baked into the cake. Maybe they know that, and maybe that's part of the direction they want to go. I don't know.
Maybe it's baked into the cake.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that. She gets like the Batista thing going.
Batista, Reigns got that reaction. Remember when they had to sing the Rock out to kind of like be like, no, cheer this, cheer please, right?
Please.
Cheer please. I like Dino's comment here. Vince McMahon was like, help me, Ronda. Help me, Ronda. Because that's how Vince is. He grovels, gets out on his knees.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, Supersonic X saying it's probably going to be a one-off. Yeah, I mean, it would seem that she's going to come back and just do one big feud that rolls into WrestleMania. Yeah, somebody could pitch her out of the Rumble. You could jumpstart something like that. I almost like that better. Or maybe something starts on the way to the Chamber. I don't really know. Her inside of the Chamber would be interesting because, like, her UFC background. But anyway, I see you lifting your finger to make a point. What's up?
Charlotte did say she was going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah, Charlotte will be in the Rumble. She could be the one to eliminate Ronda Rousey and pick her opponent. Or Charlotte could go the distance and say, I don't want to wrestle any of these women. I want Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. And maybe she calls her shot and calls out Ronda Rousey. I don't know.
Guess we got to tune in.
A lot of ways you could go with this one. Headlocked heel, by the way, saying at the Rumble, I think Lacey Evans could return, continue the feud with Charlotte. I think they're going to just drop all that stuff because you got to get back into Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good if they didn't. Let's say they did, and they don't.
Yeah.
Maybe she comes back and maybe she just does something else and moves on.
I mean, there's always the chance they could revisit Charlotte, Lacey Evans, get back to it. My gut says they want to get away from all the Ric Flair stuff and that.
Yeah, they have to.
Probably do something else with somebody else. Keith here. Let's be honest. This is Bayley's year if she comes back at the Rumble. And another one, does she come back as a babyface or a heel? Or does she come back as a heel, or as a babyface?
I think she's so beloved that no matter what she did, everyone's going to go crazy for her.
I kind of feel like if the old school Bayley music hits and then you see the like wacky wavy inflatable arm tubeman at the Rumble, the place would go completely nuts, right?
And but I don't want that Bayley.
I'm just saying, after some time away, I had a chance to clear my head. I realized the wrongs that I have committed. I brought back the Bayley buddies. Let's have this. Come on, side knot people. Side knot mafia. Side knot mafia.
We need ding dong. Ding dong. Ding dong Bayley. That's
she's too good at her heel role. I hope they bring her back as a heel too. Yeah, and like another one where it's like I know not every WrestleMania match can be set up with like, oh, they eliminated somebody at the Rumble or whatever. But I don't know that I see Bayley in the mix with Ronda or the title. But she's like the perfect person to get Liv Morgan to that next level right now. And I'd love to see her those two get to play together.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Bayley elevated so many. She elevated Bianca so much too. And absolutely.
We got Dino here, by the way, again, jumping in saying, is Paige ready to come back a la an Edge comeback? A lot of teases about that. It'd be a great reaction.
Yeah, I feel like there might be a tease. I feel like I read something like somebody's getting checked out, and I could see her coming back since so many of the women legends are coming back.
Yeah, a big reaction too. They need more star power for their women's division right now. Doudrop Becky Lynch, last night on Raw didn't really grab me. The dynamic here is weird because Doudrop is so defined as a heel, and again, like I'm probably overthinking this, moving the chess pieces around. But if Becky goes in there with Doudrop and Doudrop's the heel, probably a little chance to baby Becky. And if they're going for Becky Ronda, and they got Becky going up against heels right now to start kind of turning that baby face knob a little bit, my sensors are still really up that Ronda's going to come back and be a bad guy this time around.
Yeah, because Charlotte is a definite heel.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, absolutely not, boo, we don't like her.
Yeah.
The Doudrop thing, it's just underbaked.
Yeah, it's just weird time. I mean, good for Doudrop. I'm happy he's going to get an opportunity here, but the unclear dynamic of who I'm supposed to be rooting for right now, very weird. But we've brought up Asuka a couple times. I should say Fightful reporting that several talents from WWE said to be under the impression Asuka is going to make her return to the ring at the Rumble. Her name was at least discussed internally as a potential women's Rumble entrant. Do you see her as a dark horse, potential winner? How do you feel about Asuka if she comes back here?
You know, I love Asuka. I would love to see her win it. I would love to see her win it all, come back and go all the way and challenge Becky. There's history there because she got the title from Becky with the handoff.
Totally.
We never really got to see those two go at it. Asuka would definitely come back and elevate everything.
Yeah, and like it's just nice to know there's a lot of women coming back into the fold right now, whether from injury or being brought out, from the past. It's been a bit invigorating, I think, for the women's division, and I hope that it just doesn't all build to the Rumble and then kind of fizzle back out and go a million different directions. I hope Alita sticks around, right? Lacey, Asuka, Bayley, if all these names got back into the mix, holy hell, it would really reinvigorate that division on another level. You drop Ronda Rousey into that mix, now we're cooking with fire, right?
A whole lot of it.
A lot of it.
Big old bonfire.
And maybe the Bellas stick around, right? I mean, the WWE women's tag titles really
Who are the champions now again? Oh, it's Zelina and Carmella.
Right. That's just kind of faded to the back. If there's any duo that could like get some attention on it, get people talking about it, the Bellas as the WWE women's tag team champions. Yeah, okay. I could see that.
Yeah, because I don't think there's anybody else that's an actual legitimate team.
No.
Everybody else is a singles player, and they got rid of Billy Kay.
Yeah.
So
they had a good act. They had a good act there, It
was right there.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Raw. Then we'll dive into the mailbag here. We're going to talk about Brian Kendrick in the mailbag. But Raw last night, not a whole lot to write home about. It was announced before Raw that Omos, Ziggler, Rude, Orton, Riddle, Otis, and Gable have declared their spots for the Men's Rumble. Only 8 open spots for the 30-man Rumble. Of course, Braun Breaker, Gunther have been rumored for that match as well. So that kind of brings us down to 6. Do any of the added names here change the trajectory of how you see the Rumble playing out?
No, I'm still thinking. I'm still leaning on Randy Orton. You said it's his hometown. It makes sense. I know he's still doing stuff with Riddle though in the Alpha Academy, so there's a toss up there.
Yeah, and seeing Big E going to working alongside Kofi again this past Monday or Friday night on SmackDown kind of gave me the signal that maybe he's not going to be the guy to walk out of the Rumble. They seem to have, decided that he's maybe better off back in the fold with the New Day for the moment.
That was so weird too. They were letting everybody hop shows, and I was like, well, you guys are doing that thing again.
Yeah.
Like, why is he here? They're like, oh, it's right before the Rumble, so anybody can come over. I'm like, get out of my face.
I didn't know that's how it works, right?
It's a defined print. Get out of here. I had a brief moment watching, and I was like, I could see AJ being a dark horse.
Sure. That's the thing is he took that big drop from Omos, but him and I'm still kind of iffy on Austin Theory for a couple different reasons, but him and AJ Styles, that was a really enjoyable match last night on Monday Night Raw. Those two, and it was like AJ wrestling a younger version of himself in a lot of ways. It was kind of cool to watch.
Austin Theory gives me young Orton vibes.
Yeah. Okay.
While I was watching him, I was like, oh, I see it. I get it. And the announcers, the commentary, they were really putting it over like he's the next big thing. Like they were really, Corey Graves was putting extra sugar on top.
Yeah.
But he looked great.
Yeah, look great. What's going on with the Street Profits right now? That was a thought I had coming out of Raw last night. Are they bad guys now?
No.
Are they good guys?
Yeah. Did they do something heelish?
I don't know. They just kind of just seem kind of be floating around right now. I don't really know what they're doing.
I would have had them going against Alpha Academy for the championships, but maybe they'll lead that up to WrestleMania. Something cool there if there's a tag team championship match there. But yeah, I have the same feeling. They're kind of floating and doing nothing. They're still wrestling, but they're intertwined with the Mysterios right now.
You want to talk about the spelling bee segment and how Otis actually misspelled a word in the spelling bee segment? They had to count it as correct for a moment before declaring, no, this man actually did in real life misspell this word as part of this children's spelling bee.
Yeah. A word that I'm sure they told him, this is the word you're going to get. This is how you spell it. Don't mess it up. I was in the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee musical. You need to know the words. Also, okay, Nick, I got to admit, everybody, that segment of the Miz birthday party, I cried laughing. Whoever wrote the little part from when they saw the big present over in the corner, they were like, I thought it was for me. She goes, it's my birthday. From then on, I'm crying in tears laughing.
It was the brick. You like the brick reveal?
The brick reveal. Who's like, I didn't get it. You didn't get it. Oh my God, that was so funny.
Yeah.
I think I finally understood. I understand the Miz completely. And I'm like, I get him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was a highlight for me too. Edge and Beth look really great as well. I like the two of them together, both kind of feeling their, steampunk, metal rock roots. I don't really know exactly how to describe their look at the moment. So.
It's like they go to like biker bars and beat people up and start fights. I'm like, okay, all right, cool.
So wait, real quickly before we get to the mailbag, there was another Street Profits note from Raw. Montez Ford went viral. Top 3 news item of the past 24 hours on the site, legitimately. People freaking out about Montez Ford hitting the Superman pose as he flies over the top rope and not dropping the pose until a half moment until he hits the ground down there. It was pretty cool.
That dude, I got to say it, Nick. He has the best frog splash ever.
Ever? All time?
I think all time. He gets crazy air. Every time I see it, I'm always like, I truly jaw drop every single time. I'm impressed. It's hard to argue. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, EJ. Well, I want to thank you for joining me at Top Show Talk, all the news today. Thank you to everybody who's been jumping in the chat room here. John agreeing with me, saying he's also confused about the Street Profits. And Headlock Heel saying Riddle also misspelled a word. Is that right? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. I don't know that he did. Could be wrong.
It was calibrate. Oh.
Riddle, bad at spelling. I'm shocked. I'm surprised he didn't rip the pages out of the dictionary to, create his,
I would hope that he's making enough money to where he doesn't need to do that. We don't got to do that no more.
Dude, you can't take that out of, you can't take the stoner out of the stoner. Money don't change that, right? You get lonely. You can put it in a nice hotel room. You're still looking around, being like, I could make a bong out of that. I don't care. I don't care how much money you have.
I've definitely taken a receipt and been like, "This is fine." And people are like, "No, there's ink."
Yeah, don't do that.
Now we know.
So today's poll question stems from a report from PWInsider.com. They reported that Brian Kendrick requested his WWE release a few weeks back and has not been at any of the recent NXT tapings. Word is that Kendrick has been waiting for his release for 6 weeks now. The timeline for his request is interesting as he was scheduled to wrestle Harlan on the December 28th NXT. The match never happened. It was believed the bout was nixed due to COVID-19 precautionary measures, but never confirmed. He did participate in a backstage angle with Harlan this week before the planned bout. So before we get to the poll question here, which is what does a Brian Kendrick outside of WWE possibly look like? Are you surprised? What do you think? What do you think could possibly be going on in the head of Brian Kendrick right now to ask for his release?
Freedom. Freedom. You're watching. All these guys are now seeing that there's the grass is always greener. You're looking over there. You're probably hearing your friends are like, yo, you're having these dope matches. this creative freedom that you can really do your thing. Why not?
Yeah.
I think it's a good time. If not now, when? Do it before you get cut.
Yeah, I was listening to, the Scotty Too Hottie interview, I think, that he did with Van Vliet. And, he's talking about how difficult it is to just be around there right now. I mean, you're talking about talents that you've spent years with now, training down at the WWE Performance Center. And just like that, Thanos style, they're all gone. And you're giving these new recruits, and it's just not the same, right? Like, you created this emotional attachment. You're going to have to make some changes. There was that weird request that I think it was maybe Fightful reported it, that Vince was asking Scott. No, I think Scotty said this. Said in the interview that Vince asked all the coaches to dye their beards and hair so they all looked younger, right? It's just a weird kind of space where they're just controlling you on so many levels. And I can see just kind of wanting out, man, if you're not happy.
Yeah, why do you need to dye your beard?
Dude.
Like, just be gray. You're old. You've done it all. You don't need to keep up an appearance for anything. That does suck. That's literally like you just get everybody's wiped and clean. You have to start fresh. There's no like filter system of like, okay, hey, you work with this person because you used to do this and they do this. You're a good match. Now it's just fresh, and I don't know, that sucks. So that's another reason why.
And I'm interested to know if he's an employee or an independent contractor, because I was under the impression that coaches in NXT were employees. I guess I could be wrong. Like, if I didn't know that the coaches were beholden to the same kind of independent, wrestler clauses that, the wrestlers are held to. I thought it was just different. I guess I was wrong about that. Although I
thought they just wore polos. Right?
I thought they wore polos that got health insurance. God damn it.
Yeah, I thought so too. Do they not?
That's what I'm wondering now. Dude, are the coaches also under the, like, do they sign on to be a coach for 3 years? Like, how does this work? I'd love to know about, whatever. And Aki, by the way, saying Vince is like Mr. Burns as a softball coach. Yeah, right? It's true. I've got some nerve tonic that I want you all to start taking. So
precisely.
My question here for everybody over at Wink Daily, WINC Daily over on Twitter today is, who is your dream opponent for Brian Kendrick if he showed up in AEW? Because, of course, I think part of this has got to be he knows he could probably still go. He was set to do this match with Harlan. Does he want to go out and just get buried and battered by this Harlan kid? Or does he want to maybe make sure that his next match is more impactful and sends a better message? So if he were to go over to AEW, let's say he gets released, would you like to see him wrestle CM Punk, Sammy Guevara, Matt Sydal, or somebody else? With over 150 votes here, 41.5 to Sammy Guevara, 26.9 to Matt Sydal, 16.2 for somebody else, and in last place, CM Punk with 15.4. Do you have a preferred AEW opponent for Brian Kendrick if it were to go down?
When I first read it, my gut said Darby Allin. I think they would have a fun, intriguing match. When I looked at the poll, I voted for Sammy because that would make sense. Just logically, he's been having a lot of matches like Jay Lethal, a lot of guys that come in. He's kind of like their, like the guard, if you will.
Okay. Sure.
So that'd be cool. But I was also like intrigued by a lot of the write-ins too. So I don't want to step on anybody's write-ins. But yeah, those are mine. What about you?
I voted Sammy Guevara. I think the Punk thing would be interesting just because of like how tenured they are. And I think they tell a very different, different kind of story. But yeah, let's right into here. We got Brian Wool, B-Wo. He'll be here tomorrow to co-host the show. He says, Bryan Danielson all the way. The emotion Danielson displayed on the commentary during the Cruiserweight Classic showed a tremendous amount of admiration and love Danielson has for Kendrick. It would be great to see what the two could do together. How do you fight that? That's a great argument.
That was one. After I read that, I was like, oh yeah, that one. I would prefer Bryan Danielson over CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but also, yeah. And then just have Bryan Danielson just go heel midway through the match and just like stomp his head in and just go nuts. I think, yeah, they probably have like a really heartwarming match with a big old hug and it'll be emotional. And I think that would really put Kendrick in another spot.
Yeah, I agree. David Amati here. He's saying reuniting with Paul London, which Paul's not currently in AEW, but if they could bring Paul London and Brian Kendrick together to AEW as be part of the tag team division, I'd go along for that ride. I think that'd be very compelling television to watch.
Oh yeah, yeah. And put him with like all these new guys and like really show them how to like the vets can still go.
Yeah, totally. We also have at Mr. Fantastic DW. For me, it would be Hook. Don't let that I think he meant Kurt Cobain babyface fool you. Kendrick versus Hook. Sure, why not?
That'd be a cool one. You know, maybe that could be Hook's longest match to date.
I like Antonio Garcia here in our comment section saying, but if he leaves WWE, we will never get spanked. Oh, that's not right. Antonio Garcia saying Kendrick versus Pac. It was Dino saying, if he leaves WWE, we're never going to get Spanky versus Shanky. And both good answers. Both good answers.
Also, where's Veer?
He's coming soon to Raw.
If he shows up at the Rumble, huge pop.
There was here's my final thought. Here's my Jerry Springer final thought for the show today before we wrap it up. Okay. Sometimes when you watch a promo, you notice little things that just get your head spinning. And this week I noticed that when Veer Mahan was talking, the room is now colder, right? And you could see the frost, right? You could see his breaths in the cold room, you know? My theory now is that rather than mocking the Glacier promos that they used to do in WCW to long hype Glacier, Veer Mahan is now becoming Glacier, and this will result in about 4 months with not Veer Mahan coming to Raw, but the return of Glacier.
Sign me up.
Played by Veer Mahan, right?
Absolutely. If that is it, give me a t-shirt. I want it. I need it. Also, all right. I know you said final thought. I got one more thing that I've noticed that has been bugging me.
Sure.
Why have we not had a promo battle between Paul Heyman and MVP yet?
Dude, great question. I think they would tell you it's because they want to keep the focus on Lashley and Lesnar. And Lesnar's speaking for himself right now, so there's not really as much of a reason to do it. But we still got, maybe something on SmackDown where these guys show up, do a head-to-head, maybe something on Raw the night or the Monday after. But I'm a little underwhelmed by the lack of Heyman and MVP interactions I'm getting. I am with you on that.
It has all the right ingredients, and they're serving it to us cold.
Yeah. Like gazpacho.
I don't want gazpacho. It's cold outside.
Oh, everybody loves gazpacho.
No, I want something hot, chili, big meaty men bumping me.
Okay. So that brings us to the end of the show here today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be joined by another comedian. Brian will be here. Also, Hammerstone will be on the show tomorrow. Support the Wrestling Daily on iTunes. Those ratings always help propel us up the charts. Support WrestlingInc.com on all the socials. Come back tonight after NXT for the Wrestling Inc. podcast. EJ, anything you want to put over, or did you just see a ghost? What just happened? You just looked away very quickly.
I heard my neighbor's kid. It sounded like they ran into something. So I was like, I hope they're okay.
Yikes.
What do I want to put over? Free Ali. That'd be cool. Be nice, y'all. It's really cold outside. So stay warm. Stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. If you need a break from work, take that day off. Take the day off. Relax. I had a blueberry bagel today.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
So I had blueberry yogurt.
Huh. Look at us.
Yeah. And then I do this thing now where I eat my yogurt, because I eat yogurt every morning now, and I'm feeling better for it. Yeah. But I have individual little cups, and I'll eat the yogurt, and then I'll let Willow lick the inside of the bowl, because yogurt and blueberries are, I guess, good for dogs. So she gets.
Oh, word?
Yeah, we share a little breakfast together every morning.
That's cute. I love Willow. 2 days with no coffee.
Oh, I had my first cup of coffee in like a week today.
My head is like split.
And lastly, I suggested this to EJ, but if you'd like to understand maybe why EJ and I are the way we are, great documentary I watched this morning on Hulu, Mad Men Only, about Del Close. If you're looking for a little homework, you get your brain working, you go watch that, jump in the comments section tomorrow, tell me you watched it, we can have a dialogue about it. Or hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Nick_Hausman over on Twitter. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And remember, if you winked, you didn't miss it.